Alright, welcome back to episode 62 of History Rewritten. Rewritten. In the last episode we viewed not full of communism, but less communism, and basically just a huge economic crash as we get into the early 2000s. So yeah, much of what we're going to be doing today. Anyway, that's exciting. So yeah, but the world is not a happy place at the moment. There's some growing countries like the USB, which is just growing stronger than Bengal, so it's now oh no, what's that before? It's approaching the strength of the red country. So that means that if it surpasses the red country, it will become the third strongest nation in the world, and I mean, it looks like that's going to happen pretty soon, so that's exciting. Apart from that, China is currently the strongest country in the world, followed by Russia, and then the red country, then the USB, and then Bengal, and then Korea, then Britain, and yeah, you know what? You know what I need to say. So we're going to have more rebellion sort of things, and also wars, because people are unhappy and they need stuff, like money. So starting off, let's go to India. And these countries are to do with something else. Talking of something else, let's introduce something new and exciting. How about religion? Definitely a new idea. I made a map with all the religions in the world, so we're going to look at this instead, of looking at India. Although we could start with India. Yeah. As you can see, the red country's religion is mostly around the Middle East. You've got some areas around the Red Sea, Somalia, going into Iran, and also into Greece. You then have the blue team religion, which is the African one. So it goes into Ethiopia quite a lot, which is a very divided region. This area, this is the purple team's colony. However, there were lots of African people living here already, so it's not as, there weren't as many missionaries. Also blue team stuff in southern Europe, and as well as areas in Uruguay and Gran Colombia, Cuba, the old, yeah, I made, this looks lovely. Old Granadan colony down here in Borneo. With the southern European religion, coming from Crimea. I like how this looks a lot. We have various parts from the Bretons follow this religion, and that's in those two areas. Some bits down here from the Yellow Country, going over to Asia. As you can see, the French, Catalonians, Iberians, more Iberians, and then South America. Yeah, South America is just like a huge play park of this place. We've got the entire, basically like nearly the entire continent following this dark blue religion, and then the French up here in Haiti and Mexico. Down here we've got the Catalans and the French colony, and then a bit from Iberia. The Northern European one has got some of the Druidic things sprinkled inside, okay, like Estonia, Latvia, Estonia, Russia, Iceland, Ireland, Britain, Greenland, that's where that's spread. It's not the Indians getting over there somehow. This religion is mostly in, Northern Europe, North America, Central America, lots of South America, but also around Nigeria and Cameroon, lots of Australia, and it looks like even this country might eventually turn into the Northern European one. New Zealand, lots of the Pacific Islands, and some stuff on these islands. The Green Team religion doesn't go over to any other continents other than, well, it's in Europe a bit, but mostly Asia. It spreads from the Green Team, but also the Russians follow this as well, and it goes down here near Korea because the Grey Country follows this religion. The dark green one is just an offshoot from the Green Team explored the steppes. Same with the Korean religion, which is around here a bit. It's mostly just Korea and Sakhalin who spread this, like the Japanese as well, because Baha is following this religion, and mostly like a huge part of the Pacific coast of North America, and as well as the east coast of this area, East Africa. Chinese, they've got a bit in Australia and the Pacific area. Also Madagascar, from when they took that from the Swedes have really suffered a lot religiously over here. The Indians have probably one of the most populous religions, maybe not the most followed religion, but close. There's a lot of Indians in the world. So that's mostly around India, but you've also got lots in Southeast Asia, Australia, and East Africa. Other than that, I believe that's all the religions, so that's exciting. I might make more offshoots, as in like this country is a slightly different sect to this one, so I'm thinking about that. There you go, that's 5 minutes of me talking extremely quickly. Thank you. Wait a minute, we need the other map back. There we go, that's better. Alright, heading on over to India. The Indians are going to be going to war with another country. That's crazy. But who? Well, it's the country suffering a huge economic collapse. Unfortunately, this brownish country really could not cope, so the Indians launch an invasion, take the capital city, and yeah, they win. Really easily. Nice. This country unfortunately was turned communist by the Green Team. They were forced communist. And that meant they had to help in World War III, which they lost, and the Indians and the I think it was just the Indians. Yeah, the Indians took a lot of their land, and now they've taken all of it. Oh well, it's kind of beneficial for them. It's better than living how they were living, which was hellish at that point. Communist nations, we've only got Kenya and you lot. However, we have the expansion of the Kenyan one, as they declare war on this strange beige country. So, Kenyan forces, which are pretty equal to this, they have just lost World War III, so they are a bit weaker. And the way that they win this is by declaring war, and then letting these Ethiopian forces just invade to a huge degree into their country. However, after seeing no military strike back, they launch too much into this region, and the Kenyans will launch towards this city. This kind of scares them, however they think they can probably cut the Kenyans off and take their coastal cities, but there's one thing they didn't account for, and that's Ethiopia coming to get them. So Ethiopia will launch an invasion too, and this really just seals the nail in the coffin. I mean, Ethiopia is damaged from their involvement in World War III, however they also won. And winning is a big different thing to losing. I don't know if that's clear. That's pretty clear, I think. Winning and losing are different things. So we have a peace treaty drafted up where you kind of take the stuff that you got. I think we might trade some of these territories up. You can have this, and you lot can have this bit. Alright, nice. Who did this benefit? Definitely the Kenyans the most. They gained 2 cities, including the capital of this old country. Ethiopia just got some land in 1 city, but it wasn't that bad, and they're closer now to unifying their old empire. An empire? It kind of was an empire. Oh well, that's nice. And your capital city will be demoted down to just a normal major city. You're a bit scared, because Ethiopia is really on the prowl for regaining their old territories, and you occupy a load of them. Anyway, moving down, new communist country, it's this one right here. However, was that a clever idea to let a highly powerful coup take over your country? No! Should have tried to stop it. Should have thought about that. So they go communist because some rebels took over their country, and also they're suffering a lot, so communism seemed like a good idea. Now looking at the religion map, because I like to do this now. This region is split between the Civilisation Korean and the Indians, so that's kind of how this works. You've got, where's your capital? Your capital, I think, is up by this lake. That is Korean at the moment, but you know, that's interesting. This country is mostly Korean, I believe. There are lots of different areas in it. However, that doesn't really matter. Let's get on with the invasion. So, Uganda and Tanzania will both launch invasions into this country, with the Tanzanian country pushing towards this city because it's where their religion is. Or the land team religion, but oh well. Shut up. The Ugandans will make a push towards this city down here in the south, taking it quite easily. Apparently there's some other capital down here. That's not their capital, it's a different country's capital. The Ugandans also crawl around to the north, reaching up to the border of Tanzania and closing off any opportunities for you guys, so that's good. Just these two now. The Ugandans will also move around near the capital. However, they do reach it, but they don't manage to take it, as Tanzania makes a spearhead towards this area and managed to connect up with Lake Victoria. This is a huge development in the war, and Tanzanian troops, who are probably amongst the strongest military troops in all of East Africa, reach up and take the capital of this country. Uganda will push around, taking this city, before launching a huge invasion from their home territory, like reservists and stuff like that. And in the end, yeah, the Tanzanian-Ugandan offensives will meet. Good English, good stuff. We'll meet up in this in this country to divide up the borders of this huge. Not sure it's huge, but it's pretty big. This big country. I'm not sure at this point what I'm talking about. I talked far too fast with the religion thing, and it still took like 4 minutes to get through it all. So yeah, I don't know anymore. Anyway, basically Tanzania wants to reach up to Lake Victoria for trade opportunities and also religion. That thing. It's gonna become more important, I think. If I ever do a season 2 of this, I'll probably keep it more important throughout. I don't know, I'd like to do a season 2. But I think it's going to be a very, very long way away. Like, I might reach episode 80. I probably will reach episode 80. I might even get like 100, which would be mad. Anyway. Enough yapping. Shut up. What if we advanced this border a little bit more without it going down? Could you not? Could you really not? This doesn't really matter. These guys just want certain parts of the country, and the uh-oh. I don't really remember what colour the Ugandan one was. I think it's something like this. Oh well, we can only hope. Ah well. I'll check after this. I think it was this, but I'm not really sure, and the back button won't go back far enough, so that's good. That's nice, isn't it? Anyway, these borders over here look truly horrific. I don't know why anyone would cause this to happen to their borders. However, these guys apparently wanted this, so good for them. Uganda is trying to surround Tanzania, apparently. Some strange stuff. They might sell some things to them. Just because I don't like the borders. In a follow-up treaty, because of problems with religious groups and ethnic stuff, Tanzania ceded this piece of land because I didn't like the borders. This is how it's meant to go, guys. It's all in the plans. As for the capital city, that will be relegated to a major city within the Ugandan country, which is now becoming quite a major country economically, so that's exciting. Well, economically in Africa, I mean. Not exactly on the world stage, but they might eventually become powerful on the world stage, as African countries will start to grow towards becoming stronger. Let's look at who's trying to get that to happen. That being this guy. The guy who loves Africa, because they've been in Africa since like episode 2. You're the first African nation to ever exist. So yeah, you might like Africa a little bit. Technically you're also in Europe, because you own Malta, so yippee, you're still European. These guys have loads of claims on Malta. Don't worry about it though. I mean, you also, you're pretty old, and also technically Asian in this bit. Oh well. The Blue Algerian country is going to be forming an economic alliance to try and strengthen Africa, because, dude, what is going on here? So if we look at religion, this is beautiful, isn't it? I love what we've done with the place. It's kind of based around the capital cities, because The people who were here just like went through here, like tribal bits and villages, whilst the Iberians who actually went here built proper cities for the people. So that was nice of them. There you go. That's a show of what that looks like, I suppose. Anyhow, you're making an economic alliance. Who are you inviting? So, number one, it's going to be Egypt, their best friend. Their friend for absolutely ages. Number two is going to Western Libya, followed by the Eastern Libyans. And the other country in their alliance, Senegal. It's just that you guys got the invite like 2 minutes early because meh. The next country to ask to join will be the Ethiopian country. I am going to forget some of these because I got my phone taken away. Not because I did something bad, it's because I need to do this banking thing on there. And then I'm recording a video at the moment, so she's taken that. Not because of anything bad, no. Just banking stuff. Because I'm old now. Thank you. Apparently I was wrong. I've just got my phone back, so yeah, we can probably record all the countries now. That's good. Did I write this down? I doubt it. No, I just wrote African Economic Alliance. AEA. Good stuff. Well done, me. I'm completely confused now. So we also are going to have Sudan being added to this alliance, followed by Tanzania. Other countries joining the alliance will include... Who else did I have time? I don't know. The Salmon Sudanese country and this greyish one. We have this strange car country joining, along with Nigeria, this reddish country, and this bluish one down here in the south. Other countries who are looking towards economic improvement in Africa, like Madagascar, and this northern Mozambique country will join, and there's probably going to be a lot more who follow up, like this orange country who's also just joined, and the yellowish one too. Then we come to some members who are slightly controversial, which is the countries in the Moroccan alliance. So it's Morocco, the Cape Verde Islands, and this yellowish country. However, the Cape Verde Islands doesn't ask to go into the alliance, and that's because, well, things aren't going too well here, so they decide to just unite with Morocco. Even though their religion is actually the Southern European one, because of Italian colonization. So, oh well. However, in the end, after a bit of thinking, Morocco and their ally, which they did not just annex, are both allowed into the economic alliance. We'll see how it goes. It improves the economy of Africa. This guy's like the third strongest country in Africa, and pretty soon the Moroccans are going to overtake the Egyptians, and they're expected to get very close to the Algerian economy, and possibly even surpass it. Anyway, let's leave Africa, shall we? I have some more things planned in Africa, so I will return. But I might stay there. I don't know, I'm thinking about... How's Russia doing? Not well. Russia's not doing happy. So, over here in Russia, we do have some of the cities being repaired. That's cool. Not all of them. One of them's still... Damn it. Just entire city. One of them's still damaged, which is this one. However, in the Crimean country, repaired. And as for you guys, no, I don't think. Oh no, yeah. This is India. India will have fixed some of their problems, and you lot will have fixed one of them. This city's still damaged, with this city over here, but the rest of them are kind of repaired. Green team's still suffering. Yeah, they're not having a great time. They might move their capital just because they don't like the Russians. They definitely would have moved it if the Russians didn't have an economic collapse. However, the Russians had an economic collapse, so the green team's kind of not worried too much because this exists. Yippee! We're gonna have a look at them later on in future episodes, not today, but possibly in the next episode if that's exciting. Oh yeah, Australia. Let's do some stuff in Oceania. I need help. This country over here, let's take a look at their religion. Uh-oh. As you can see, huge Indian group over here in the north, which is supported by all these other Indian groups in Indonesia. That's pretty scary for you guys. You're good friends with Galway, New South Galway, and you need to strengthen your European religion. How to do that? Invade this country. So, this country is not doing amazingly at the moment. It's leaning into a recession at this point, and the West Africans are just stronger. West Africans? Australians are just stronger, so they're going to lead an invasion into this country, and they start out down here in the south because it's Australia. Why would you lead invading the desert? There's no point. At least, not yet. This bit is all going to flood eventually because we're going to get like a huge Australian lake that I think the Australians might even have been planning to make themselves. So like, sea level rise is going to be beneficial for some people, like Australia. Anyone else? Not really. Sorry. Yeah, reason why I haven't been recording, because I've got a really sore throat, so I've just drunk a ton of water. Anyway, the Western Australians will break what I said and invade the desert just a little bit. To check there's no military bases right by their border, they also continue invading down towards this city over here. However, the capital city is right up here, and probably one of their strongest cities is on this island. Well, one of their strongest cities. These guys aren't weak, it's just currently their economy isn't doing too well. From here they're going to try and cut across to the end of this peninsula, which works, however it does cost a lot of lives. Luckily, yes, there we go. Not fortunately, not luckily, luckily. Luckily for the government, a lot of those lives were Indian, so that's slightly worrying for Indians, I suppose. Anyway, they continue to invade into desert because land equals war points. And New South Galway will join the war too, because this country just said some mean stuff about their religion, and also New South Galway. So they lead an invasion towards this city in the north, and yeah, at this point, the old Iberian colony is screwed. South Australia, really. New South Galway is taking these cities very quickly, and being able to just go back between lakes is also very helpful. At this point over here in the north, their two front lines will meet up over here, and they effectively take all this northern stuff, like people in dune buggies checking there's no one there, before eventually New South Galway will spearhead towards the capital, taking the city, and with Western Australia taking this, and the rest of it taken by the Galway guys. Peace treaty time. Oh my god. Peace treaty time. Yeah, babe. So New South Galway, although they did a lot of the work, they didn't have to deal with the brunt of this country's military, so they're really not going to get as much. Also, they didn't initiate the war either. Basically, I'm just saying that I'm not going to give them as much as I give the Western Australians. And that's because Western Australia needs more land, kind of. They need more Europeans, effectively. European settler relation people. So... Bam. Oh, I don't know what I'm talking about. We did gain a new Australian country, which is one of the weakest countries in the world, probably at this point. It's really not very strong. It's got... I did update the major cities, if you're wondering, so that's why it's got 2 major cities instead of the one it had in the last episode. Yeah, you're not strong at all. Really. No, you're not. No. Galway will gain lots of this stuff along the lakes, and they even look to be gaining the capital city, so actually they might gain more. I'm not sure actually at this point. I might just go against what I've said before, and actually give them more stuff. Boom, you get all this land, and the rest of it will go to Western Australia. The land's not very useful, however there are lots of gold hunters in Western Australia, so they'll probably like all this desert. And also we just removed a straight line for some reason. Well, not for some reason. I always find straight line borders funny on these. Just like, straight line is great. Oh my. That's kind of why we've got one right up here. As for the capital, you know the drill. It gets relocated down to a major city of the New South Galway country. A pretty big major city though, to be fair. And new borders of Australia look something like this. I hate them. In fact, I hate them so much that we're going to make them better. Let's do that, shall we? How do we propose making the borders better? Get rid of the straight line. Yeah. Yep. That was the only thing that was really screwing it up, in my opinion. And apparently we've added a new straight line, which was not planned. Wonderful stuff. Nice, alright, that doesn't look too bad. Yeah. Cool. Some big countries here in Australia, because Australia is big. Let's return to Africa. What was I going to do here? Look at more religious stuff, surprisingly. Has this been open this entire time? Madagascar! This looks like fun, doesn't it? What happened? Damn it. What happened to Madagascar? Well, colonization, basically. The Indians arrived in northern Madagascar, which is where this city comes from. However, this city was colonized by the Swedish. They have two capitals, because it's kind of one capital for each of the major ethnic groups. However, a third ethnic group arrived. It was the Chinese. After the Finnish Empire arrived after World War I and tried to imperialize on their neighboring countries and took a lot of stuff from Sweden, the Chinese arrived and took Madagascar from them, which meant the Chinese sent missionaries here and implemented their own religion into Madagascar, and it leaves us with this mess. Great. I love it. Look at this Korean stuff. It is so weird how this looks. Also kind of cool though. I feel like we'd have a Korean group X-Slave in here, but maybe not. I don't know. I might change it. Anyway, Civil War time. So, people in the North rise up against this, saying, you know, it's not fair how you treat us all the time, and like, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we're going to rise up against you. And people in the South will also rise up against them. However, it's more their country. This is the real capital. However, this is the old colour of the old Indian-led country. So, I'm going to be colouring the Swedish groups in a different colour. That's kind of right. In a different colour, which is going to be this colour, which is slightly similar to this. Great stuff. Still move towards the Indian groups. So people from the north and people from the south are rushing towards each other, and in the end, you end up with front lines a bit like this. However, there was a third ethnic group, and that one was the Chinese one. So let's make it look like this. And the Chinese ethnic group at least, will rise up against both these civil war countries-ish, and try to start their own offensive into them. However, you've got two cities, these guys have two, and you've got four. Swedish troops, well, Swedish-ish troops. South Malagasy troops will push towards this city, however their main objective is pushing towards further north areas. They managed to take this city because the northern Malagasy were not predicting this would happen. The Chinese are willing to let the Swedes do this, however they do sneak into some southern Madagascar territory, because there's literally nothing there. These Swedes will make a spearhead trying to break the front lines over there. However, instead of the southern Malagasy getting the territory, it goes to the Chinese religion. That's a shame, and the north is not doing too well at this point. The south will spearhead towards this city. They take it. You have most of the government funds for this. That makes sense. However, at this point, the Indians, well, not the Indians, but the north will also start to push back through this territory. And in a surprising move, they manage to unite their forces again together as the Chinese ethnic group will give anything to get their own country at this point. They're a bit sad about how this has all turned out. The Indians do take their old capital, however they've moved down and they're pretty close to getting their own new city. They split these forces, which is not good. If you know anything about warfare, you should know this is not good. But the Swedes are still going to continue fighting. They progress northwards and they take quite a lot of this territory, but the city has just been taken by the North. Over here in the south, they'll continue pushing upwards. It's a really messy conflict, and nobody's really having a good time. I don't know why you would, it's a war, but I don't know. Whatever you're into, man. However, the proper capital is taken by the Chinese ethnic group. They make this their new base and they annex a load of money. From here they're going to steal some stuff from both these other groups, and it's really not looking good. As the Swedes manage to separate the Indian front line. Whoa, this is crazy. The capital and their two major cities are at threat. And I mean, what is going on here? This civil war is crazy. Basically, people are going to start rising up. So a load of Chinese people start rising up against this. Probably not quite like that. Probably more a bit like this. We have Swedish forces rising up like that. And some Indian militias rising up like this. As you can see, Madagascar is a huge mess. Lovely. South Malagasy forces are rising up like this over here. And basically, they decide, what if we just made a peace treaty where we divided up our country between all three ethnic religious groups? And I can tell you what, that's not a terrible idea. What if we did that? Not gonna lie, not too bad of an idea. So they decide to do that. The North will be given to the Swedish group, because we like causing problems to people. That's good enough for them. I'm trying to make it accurate for the religions. I'm really hoping you see it when I change the map, because otherwise it's going to be really confusing for you all. So that's good, isn't it? Yeah, we're going to make it look something like this in Madagascar. And which Madagascar joined the Economic Alliance? Well, it was technically the southern one, so the southern one will be able to stay in the African Economic Alliance. Union? Alliance? I don't know, maybe Union, that doesn't sound too bad. Even though the colour was actually the greenish one, it's just because we already had Malagasy state, and then it got colonized. Like an episode after it got created, so I recreated it. Same with Tanzania, however Tanzania is not this complicated. Anyway, looking at capital cities, the capital city for the Chinese country, well, Chinese sort of one, is going to be right here, and the rest of them are all sorted. Madagascar. Now these borders. Oh, it's done it live for this. Much better. Alright. Bam. Bam. Cool. Right. Africa looks even better now. I've approached the 34 minutes mark of this video, so probably not too much of this video left. However, let's go over to Europe, because I like to update areas. And this orange country over here is going to have a huge economic collapse, because everyone is. So, some of these areas are going to have to be sold to their neighbours. Who made this city? I don't... Oh, it's a salmon nation. You're going to want that, aren't you? The green country will be able to take this northern bit. How's it? Yes. It's all... Wait a minute. Uh-oh. That might cause some problems. However, what's the worst that could happen? The red country will also be able to take some areas. The salmon nation will take the rest, and the division of the orange country, who's just really suffering at this point, is going to look something like this. They do not like how much of the land is going to the red country. However, you can't really stop it, so oh well. If only you could. I've got lots of other exciting things in store, and I'm really excited for that. Oh, you're excited for exciting things? That's mad, dude. That's crazy. This red country is actually becoming quite strong now, so good for them. Good for you, man. Other countries who are collapsing, what about you lot? You kind of did anger a few people with what you're doing there. So, greenish country will take this stuff, you're going to be allowed to take this stuff. Nigeria will get this bit with a city in it. This entire area will go to you, and the rest of it will go to these guys. Basically, suffering an economic collapse. However, there may have been some other strings that were pulled from behind. Basically, nobody really liked this country at all, but also the borders were really horrible in this area, and it did kind of screw them up. The religion was very complicated over here, so yeah. Can't say it was unexpected. It was, yeah, something was probably going to happen. Nigeria and the Chad country, what a Chad, yeah, probably get the best deal out of this. They get cities rather than just a load of desert, or close to desert at least. The blue country gets quite literally nothing valuable. Let's go. Actually, it's probably more. It's not great. It's not great. And once the Lake Chad actually disappears and just dries up, you're going to get a load more land. So that's exciting, you know. Because this is eventually going to dry up. You're probably going to get a load of this. And you'll be able to link up with both these territories. Isn't that exciting? Yeah. Can't wait for that to ruin a few countries' lives. Yippee. I want to do something over here, however, I don't know, we've got more economic alliance. Oh yeah, let's do one thing in Central America, and then end the episode. As two countries who are now cooperating, it's the Nicaraguan and Guatemalan country. They're going to work together to take down this Honduras one, as a sign of working together in an alliance. Nicaragua will push out towards the capital city and take it. They fought in World War III, however they did get, well, they didn't do that much fighting really, because they're in Nicaragua. And all in all, this war is very easy. It's not very tricky. We either double team this random Honduras country. It would have been tricky for the Guatemala to fight them by themselves. Nicaragua would have still won if it was like a one-on-one. However, if it was Guatemala versus them, they weren't going to win that, I don't think. In the peace treaty, we have Nicaragua taking the capital, and the rest of it going. The other two cities go to Guatemala, however they're less important. And there you go. They made an alliance together, and that's that. A few new countries, maybe one. Actually, probably just one. And the loss of a lot of countries. Good stuff. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you again next time. Here's the world as of the end of episode 62. Yeah, I'm in 2002 or 1 at this point. Very early days of 2000s. However, it's going to be starting to speed up. Probably 2002. There you go. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you again next time. Subscribe.